Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in on this beautiful Thanksgiving week. Hope you're having a good time traveling. Maybe you're listening to me on the radio. Let's go. Bitcoin, baby. Can we hold these levels? Trouble in paradise for BTC. Let's take a look at what's happening. Shout out to everybody here. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there with your family. I don't know if you're home alone. I spend a couple Thanksgivings alone. I remember them. So shout out to everybody out there. Hope you're having a good time. May God bless you. It is $87,000 for Bitcoin right now on the dot. We're looking at it here on the futures perp, amalgamated data, basically a bunch of different exchanges put together for bookmap data. 87,000. We've got liquidity up to 95K. We've got a bunch of stop losses of people that get liquidated. We got people down here that went long. We are a little closer to the shorts above us. Usually Bitcoin likes to go to the closest red. It's telling us we're going to go likely up to 92 to 95,000. But how we do it, it seems like it's going to be pretty sneaky. They're making it hard to find. We're waiting, and we're on edge right now. And it could go either way still. But right now, just in my lifetime, we've hit the red that is the closest to us. The closest to us is $93,100 for BTC. You can see right there, 93, 90, 94, 92.8. So right off the bat, Bitcoin is telling us that it wants to liquidate the shorts. But let's see if the TA, and again, that's not 100%. You don't just go, oh my God, that's going to happen for sure. It's more likely that it's the most likely thing that does happen. That happens more than it does not. But we can't say that it's going to happen for sure. That's the only issue with technical analysis. We left it here kind of last night in my update at about 1:15 in the morning. I did an update for the trading group just to kind of, it didn't matter because if you're in London, that's, a nice 6 in the morning for you in the UK. And that just kind of gets everybody ready too around the world. And if you wake up in the morning in the US, you can still watch that. Kind of put you at ease, shows you the bigger picture. Bitcoin just kind of went sideways. It wasn't a symmetrical triangle. They mainly do break down. It did break down. You could say it then came to bearishly retest that 200 moving average. Now it's kind of sitting in limbo right now, just kind of stuck. And, I expect it to be sideways, honestly, almost throughout tomorrow with the bank holiday and everything just kind of tight. So we're going to do our top-down analysis. I didn't even get to do one earlier this morning just yet. Had a very late night last night. Just couldn't sleep. Ended up, going to bed pretty late. But it's okay. We made it through. Everything, everything is awesome. Just, yesterday was an amazing day. Saw one of my buddies I hadn't seen in a long time. And, it was just a good time. So, hey, let's take a look here at what's happening on the weekly. The weekly still has, a bit of a hidden bullish divvy. You could say it is swinging down while this swings up. You could pull your Fibonacci from wick to wick here. And you're going to get like the 886 Fibonacci retracement from this to that, which is interesting. I mean, usually you get a bounce at the 786. We are above the 786, though. We did wick. And so right now you could say, well, we're holding a Fibonacci level. You would expect some type of bounce here. You flip it upside down, same idea for BTC. However, look, when these start to bunch, then the 200 moving average on the weekly starts to get scrumptious too. The more that 200 comes, and that's usually going to be, you could see we're kind of locked in somewhere 67, 68,000. Anyway, so there's a bit of hidden bullish. I'm just looking for the silver lining here. There isn't really one. And the other idea for the monthly is the monthly's above this monthly support line there, right? As long as you can close a candle above 82,350, you're good. If you close below that, we have some problems. So those are the two things that matter. If the monthly stays above where these two candles have closed, you got to say that we could build from that. But at the end of the day, the saddest thing we have to say is it is bearish. You can see we're rolling over, and it's more likely, even on the weekly, we could even end up putting in a bear flag. You see, it could take us 6 weeks just to make a bear flag sideways, and then still dump down to 54,000. Just kind of like Bitcoin did here. It dumped, and then look, it went sideways for weeks, but could never make a high, couldn't get above that right shoulder. So it makes a head and shoulder. The 200 gets, the 21 and the 200 get very far apart. And then, so it's more likely we're going, because everyone's like, are we getting this bounce? Are we going into a bear market? And you're hearing a lot of talk. If you go online, I don't, if I even touch Twitter for, I think it's 20, 30 minutes outside of just maybe certain people I want to read about or something like that. And I have gotten some news, and it seems like people were telling us that, oh, you know, this is a different cycle. Bitcoin's going to rebound in 2026. Huge pump coming. You know, 250,000 still, 200K by January. You know, like they're just, and I'm open-minded. And honestly, if anyone would want Bitcoin to be there, it would be me. Super bullish on Bitcoin since day one, watching it. But man, you know, I'm also a technical guy, and I watch how price action moves. And like, look, it takes time. It takes weeks to consolidate the pump, weeks to consolidate. Bitcoin doesn't just, you know, even right now, like it's at a dump period. Once it finds a spot to chill at, it's going to slowly consolidate. And then it's going to, you know, so this is one, you know, this could be something else that we look at. So I just want to put that out there. It's, you know, because then people will tell, oh, we reversed, we've been pumping, and it's a bear flag, right? So again, we'll figure this all out by using the moving averages. See, I'll be able to get you back. How are you going to figure this out, Sam? Trust me. If anyone can get us through this, it's me. I've got a system that has got me through the most insanely confusing times for Bitcoin, and I've been able to maneuver, and I know I can do it again. So look, there's chop here, and we're just going to take this one candle at a time. Can the 5-day chart, can the 5-day candle close at tweezer bottom tonight in 8 hours? That's got to close at least green, right? If that closes red, you know you're in trouble. But we're just so far away from the 21-day moving average. You would suggest that there just got to be, even if we're going to continue, looks like there's going to be some type of flag. And the further you are away, the more likely you are going to come down to it too as well. 3-day chart battling that 200 moving average. Can it just get back above? If this can get above the yellow line, we can get a V-shaped recovery here. And there's still a chance, you know, we still have a fighting chance. That's why we're hanging on an edge here. And then the daily, though, that really just kind of yesterday just fell short of the vision. It really did. So let's talk about the daily. Let's kind of shorten this. Let's see what happened yesterday on the daily time frame. So the daily, it opened at 88,300 even, which is crazy, right? The high was 88,519 and 99 cents. The low was $86,116 even. And the candle would close at 87,369 and 96 cents, down $930 on the day, down 1%. So it opened here, took a beat down, pumped nicely. So it opened here, pumped up nicely, took a huge dump, got bought back up and saved the day. This candle opens on the day, dumps horribly, or pumps nicely, but gets sent back down, and now is pumped back up, and like it's just kind of in limbo. At the end of the day, that looks like a bear flag to me. And if, you know, I'd have to stay true to the idea that like Bitcoin's likely coming back down to the bottom of the flag, right? So to me, it started, you know, this had to kind of start coming up. Maybe this one could clean up. But once this comes over here, like it's really like that would be a strange inverted head and shoulder. It would start to break structure, in my humble opinion. Kind of needed. That's why I kept saying like we had to get this candle here, or this candle here really had to fire off to give you that head. But see, that's what we need. You know. It's just that's kind of what we were looking for here on the head and shoulder pattern. Get your head out of the gutter. So, yeah, but that, you know, and you'd say, well, Sam, that's the trend line. It's going to form a bit of a flag here. Maybe. Even then, that doesn't just look so, just looks bearish. So the daily not cooperating to me looks more likely like it's going to roll over. It's a lower high right there, right? I mean, we must be honest with ourselves. 12-hour, 22-hour. Overbought. 8-hour time frame looking very bearish. Like it's going to come down and come down soon. The 4-hour time frame also kind of shoulder head. Remember we talked about this kind of right shouldering there. So at the end of the day, like It's jagged. It doesn't look amazing, but I can kind of see a head and shoulder in there that could come down too. And there's a gap in the VRVP right down to there, to 83,900. So, man, what's your bullish scenario? I mean, we take a look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour has some type of bullishness here. It's in a bit of a flag. Can I just get some water before you go? And this thing could break out, right? If it gets above the 200 moving average, it changes my whole tune. So it's kind of like, let's see what happens. The 1 hour is the one. Could the 1 hour change our tune today and get us in a different way? You know, the MACD shows signs of lack of bearish momentum, possible move up. But so you've got to break above this 200 moving average. And the 21 can follow, then we get a flag. This is, and look, there's a gap in the VRVP up here. So look, you're sitting at a point of control with liquidity there and there. 91, 83, and then you can see the Bookmap's also got it on either side. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Be safe. I love it. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm looking at. Not kind of, this is what I'm looking at. I was looking at some water, actually. So this is it. I mean, the 1 hour really has to come through. We got to see some magic here on the 1 hour time frame. Otherwise, we're gonna be struggling. It's not going to be amazing. And that, to me, that's kind of like you can see what time frame matters right now. It's all like this got to push. This got to push. I believe I was in a long, a tiny long. Remember, like I believe I was in a long. Yeah, it's up $10 right now. It must have been up a little better than that. Right now on the 15-minute, Bitcoin showing a bit of an inverted head and shoulder. See this on the 15-minute time frame? Shoulder, head, you know, but this is just, it's messy. And this is kind of how we left it off yesterday too as well, right? So like, it's just chop. You can see it's chop. And you gotta break above the 89,250 now too. That's going to be a local resistance. See, you bounce from here, resistance there. So to me, it just looks more bearish. I've even seen this before, this strange pattern, and it moves down like an M. I've seen this pattern before though. It's a weird, strange pattern, but I've seen it. Anyway, so we know what has to happen today. And look, there's the 1 minute getting above the 200 moving average at 86.7 and getting the pump up to 87.6. Look at there's my signal still playing out in a time of need, right? It's just so crazy. Then it bounces off the 200. Strange, but like it makes kind of a head and shoulder. Like this is just, and this is chop. This is the stay away area. You know, when the market gets like this, it's you want to observe for sure. And pay attention. Nice little pump to 87,300 for BTC. I love it. As long as it stays above 87K, every time it gets back above 87, it's like, okay. So I've got a long cooking, which just, stops in this area because why not? Maybe they get it up. You never know. Pump it up to here. I mean, there's liquidity up there. Make a giant inverted head and shoulder. Get us cooking. Like, do something. There's a chance. We've been fighting. We at least have some type of low here. I'm always going to attempt to hack that bottom, but you never know. So that's kind of my update for BTC. As you can see, everything kind of in a bow there, and you're waiting on the 1 hour time frame. If it gets above the 200 moving average, we get an explosive move to the upside. Otherwise, we're going, and the likelihood is that we do roll over, right? You roll over, you take basically the length of this, and we could roll over on a smaller time frame. 78,000, and there's Bitcoin sitting, Bookmap was 77.5, 75K too. So like kind of same area right there on the board as it is on TradingView. So that's kind of, and like I said, so like there's, a head short with a stop just somewhere up in here. That's almost a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? So I don't know which one's going to pay. I can't tell you, It's almost like I take a shot at one or the other. So there's some odds that we could go up because Bookmap has red closest to us. You see? And that's, you know, and I've gone over that in my head, and we've looked at that many, many times on the stream, and we have gone towards the red. You know, I'm not the only one that can, if anyone's been here and watched this channel, like you've observed the same things as me. And I really, the stochastics curving up like that, that's the best sign you can have for now. They can always change, but right now I like seeing that. That's a nice aggressive cross. We're pointed up. There's momentum there. Boom, let's go. But, you know, you could just see, look, price is just stagnant. We just don't have the volume. And you would expect it on the day. Everybody is traveling in America. This is one of the biggest travel days ever. Everyone's getting to their destination. Everyone's at an airport with friends. For once, they're putting down that phone for a second, or then they're picking it back up at the airport, you know. But no, but still, they're chasing the kid. Someone's asking to go to the bathroom. Like, you know, they got to go wait in line to get food. Like all that stuff has to happen. Now, people aren't just at work in front of their computers while their kids at school, where they're trading all day. You know what I mean? That's really what's happening, right? People are at work. They have access to a computer at their desk, or even just, you know, whatever they do. They have access somewhere to an office of a computer somewhere, and they set a trade. They can go do whatever they want, come back to it every couple of minutes, every couple of hours, and they can trade. When they're with their families, they can't trade, right? They can look at their phones, but it's just not the same, and they're not as into the market. So it's just, that's what happens in American holidays. So it's always going to be slower. The attention is less, right? We don't have as many people out there in the markets. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to everybody out here. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time on this wonderful pre-Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Eve. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. So yeah, we're just fighting this 200 moving average. Can we get back above this key level? It's just kind of, you know what I mean? And I've seen this just roll us right over. And look, shoulder, kind of head, right shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, even in there. It's almost smart to have a long and a short open and see what happens. And the short's the most likely thing to play out. You got, you know, they're in control. Like here's a lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Like this here rolled over, this should roll over. Really, that's why the key is there's no reason to long. I'm in a tiny long. And it looked different the other day. But there's no reason to long unless we really get back above the 1 hour 200 and the 21 comes. I think that would be the smartest thing to do. Because that would give you the best, you know, the lowest risk, in my humble opinion. But again, that's just what I believe. You got to figure that out for yourself too. Good morning, my brother. Can't wait to be locked in for the year tomorrow. Can we take a look at Dash? Have a happy Thanksgiving, bro. Peace and blessings to you and the family. God bless you, brother. Let's take a look at Dash and see what's happening to Dash. So that's Bitcoin in a bit of a nutshell, right? You're either, you know, the short down to 77.6, or I wait for the long and cut the short off if we get back above the 200 moving average. Only chance is they could maybe bust us back above the 200 for just a sec like this, take me out, and then rip us down, you know. It can happen. I don't do this all the time. That's the thing. I don't do this like every, you know. It's so that's why I'm not like the king of going short and long. I won't say the word because I think it comes off wrong on the you know. Put in the Happy Thanksgiving to everyone here. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Yeah. And, you know, everyone, you know, commercializes a bunch of different things and holidays here in America. We have Easter and the bunny and all that. But at the end of the day, I just loved it as a way to come home to my mom and dad and see my parents. You know, now that they're gone, as silly as I thought the holidays could be, and I know superficial, right? I just love the excuse to go hang out with my dad, watch football. You know, me and my dad would watch football. That's what we would do, you know, whether you like it or not. That's just what me and my dad would do. We'd watch football together. We both played football in our past, you know, so we both like to watch football, right? So there you have it. That's Bitcoin in a bit of a nutshell. Let's see if there's anything kind of outperforming Bitcoin, acting differently in the market. And you got AI and big data. I've been watching this entire sector here, right? just kind of getting a handle over it. You can see, look, Tagger, 12%, 11%, and there seems to be some AI interest, right? NVIDIA with good earnings, and it starts to kind of spill over, and people are going to start wondering where, you know. Top gainers bought, RTX, APRS, look at that. Look at that. That's a flag right there. See, I can see the flag. So then I'm like, okay, what is bought? Look at that chart. See the flag it's in right there? Should take me to the actual coin, you know, if I click on it. I love seeing so there's a bunch of bots, like which bot, right? Let's see here, bot. It's 00. How much is it right now? It's 006. So I just got to look for one of that exact price. Sometimes, what if they're the same price? It's happened, but it's unlikely. So this is it right here. Very small market cap, hyperbot, right? Yeah, I'd be careful. Of course, there it is. I just want to look at the technical analysis. See, my brain already saw a flag. I just want to see the flag. All right, it wasn't as good as I thought it was, but it was interesting. Still a bit of a flag there, right? So it's just kind of what I do in my life. You know, I just kind of look for the same type of setups over and over again. Wow, so that thing doubled up. Who knows? You know, I'd stay away from it. It's too small for me. Very, you know. But interesting. I just like watching the TA. The 21, you know, is amazing how it bounces. And look, rejection by the 200 on the 1 hour. 5-minute time frame gets tight, right? But you can also see how it could like be Adam and Evie or just kind of like, choppy business. And certain time frames will look better than others. They'll be more enticing. That's one issue, but you know, you gotta kind of looks almost descending-esque, but like I just, you know, you want to see it just kind of flag out more. I like to just watch price. Everyone jumps in, I think, a little too early. I've been able to really perfect my entries in the last year to 2 years by just really waiting, trading a lot. Number one, trading almost every day, trading constantly, which, you know, small amounts when things aren't good and bigger amounts when I like it. That way I can always trade, and just little by little. Yeah, so I have no idea what this is. I probably won't, you know, staying away from it. Yeah, someone says what they said. I have no idea. I don't own any. It doesn't matter to me. I just like to, I'm curious. I look around the internet to see what's going on. That's all. Every once in a while, I catch a gem or something that's interesting that I don't think I would have found earlier. Funny, World Liberty up 3.7%. 16 cents. It's not as bad as other things. Aster holding $1, right? Hyperliquid back at 34. Zcash at 500. BNB at 860. Dash, someone asked about. We'll take a look. And Sol actually up a little bit. 134, 136. Holding its own there as Bitcoin goes sideways. So some of these coins are loving it. We showed you Total 3, which is very interesting. We're going to take a look at Total 3 right now. Before we do that, I want to take a moment to talk about the Black Friday sale. And right now, if you jump on in to the Black Friday sale and you hit the link below any of the videos that we have made, right, in the last, you know, few weeks, you can see right here, if you hit, there is a link. Hit that link and it takes you to a awesome form. Fill out that form. It gives you access 24 hours to the Black Friday sale. This is for the loyal lifers. Jump on in today, right? This is like behind the scenes for the lifers. We love you. We want you to get an extra discount before the big event goes out. So your loyalty is rewarded. Hit this, come on in, fill out the form, and then you get an added discount before the Black Friday sale. And you get access to the Black Friday sale all Thursday. It starts tonight, basically, right? As we go into Thursday. So as Wednesday turns into Thursday, tonight, Eastern Standard Time, 12:01, you'll get an email with a code. You'll be able to use that code to sign up to Black Friday for 24 hours in advance. That code will end Friday when we flip to Friday. You see what I'm saying? And the regular Black Friday sale will kick back on. So there you go. I just got to make it, I'm not a big shiller But I want you to understand that this is something that you can take, it's the most affordable we'll ever give it. So jump on in today. This is your chance to do it. If you've been watching, if you love it, if you know there's going to be calls, if you know you're going to watch my style, if you know you're going to be asleep when I'm awake, if you know you like my 7-day-a-week constantly watching the market and it's been helping you, if you like to learn with us, if you just like the vibe, if you like to work out in the morning, if you like the positive attitude, whatever it is, take advantage today while you still can. All right. Okay, so there. Tightness for BTC. Can you take a look at Monad? I got my father-in-law joining the group tomorrow. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at Monad. That's very nice of you. I hope I make sure it's a good relationship. I don't want to ruin that one. Hey. So let's take a look at Monad and see what's going on with Monad. Monad, it had some, and it had people kind of talking about it. It had a little je ne sais quoi, I guess, a little something to it. Not many places. Let me take a look at where it is, too, just by looking at it on CoinMarketCap. It was decentralized mostly. Agreed, yeah. Monad. Let's take a look here. $474 million market cap. Looks like a M up there, right? Look at that shoulder, head, right shoulder up there. You see that? And already you can see the head and shoulder, and it came down. Funny, you can just see this stuff. Up at Bicket. Okay, yeah, MON. There we go. MON USDT. It's everywhere. It's funny, I can't seem to get the spot up, but I can get the perp there, which is weird. CoinX has it too as well. Nope. Can't seem to get a clean chart on this puppy. All right, there it goes. So yeah, I remember when we put it out to the trading group, right? And we talked about it. Let's kind of go over this here. So if you're in my trading group, what I do is I'm always researching coins all the time, looking for things, talking about stuff, breaking it down, right? And you can see here on 1015, I'm telling you, new coin, Monad. You see this? Exclusive Monad is a layer 1 that redefines EVM compatibility with unprecedented performance, achieving 10,000 TPS sub-blockchain's net zero gas fees while maintaining full Ethereum bytecode. As a redesign of Ethereum's consensus and execution layers, Monad addresses scalability bottlenecks without sacrificing decentralization. Backed by $244 million in funding with Paradigm and Dragonfly, with a thriving testnet ecosystem over 240 projects, it positions itself as a high-throughput alternative for DeFi, AI, and consumer apps. You see? Launching on October 14th in mainnet, Monad offers strong investment potential. So, I was looking at this. You see what I'm saying? And it was, It's just interesting. And so I put this out on the radar 10:15. And we kind of, you go over that, and then you can see that it starts to hit alerts. It starts to come out. We start talking about it. Monad. And let's see where that was back then. 1019, it's sitting here at like a penny? And it has since gone up to, 4 cents. So let's take a look. even if you just got in a little later, it's up a nice 175% gains. And from that low, only says 200%. You'd think it would be a little more than that. But anyway, 16 to 48. So, again, here's that kind of head and shoulder we were looking at on the 15. It's a little spread. So what I would do is I would just start setting up my support and resistance levels. And again, it's about Bitcoin. Bitcoin collapses, this thing just dumps. Somehow, some way, we get in a miraculous, move up for Bitcoin. This will go up here. So it's almost like you're super risky, anyone that tries to buy that exact low. But if it bounces up in here and gets into there, then there's more likelihood of a move. So to me, I don't predict what's going to happen. I basically can predict what I'm going to do if the thing does what I want it to do. Or desire it. So I'm if it can do what I desire it to do, I'll go in. But if it not, then I'm not doing that. All right, you can see Bitcoin struggling right now at 86.7 and seems to be somewhat rolling over here. So if it can't, the more it can't get above this 200 moving average, the more likely it is to roll over. And once Bitcoin starts to roll over, there's going to be really no relief because there's no one out here to buy the price. Actually, there's a really thin order book. So you can see this thing just, it's kind of crazy, right? That target is $78,000 BTC. I feel like I got to just get a short in there just in case. Just in case, because it just looks more likely now as we keep hitting, and I'm same kind of, it's interesting though how the 200 is bending there. I could still see it go either way, but right now, I mean, you got it, because we're in a downtrend. The trend is your friend, so you just trade the way the trend's been. So the trend tells you to continue to short the market. You see what I mean? That's not me speaking. That's what technical analysis tells you to do. It's like once you identified a trend. So here, and what is a trend? A trend is just a multiple sets of the same instance. And what is an instance? It's like something that happens, right? So you're like, okay, here's a high, here's a lower low. Here's a lower high area, like this whole area, this chunky area continuously can't get above. It makes tweezer. And everyone's like, well, how do you know what a high is? And I used to think that was a great question. Like, how do you know what the high is in the trend? It's when you have it's tweezer tops and tweezer. Once I got into tweezer tops and tweezer bottoms and really, really, really stuck to them. Like look, you have the green candle with the red one next to it. That's it. That 90% of the time, that's it. So then you have the red candle with the green candle next to it again, and that's a lower high. Lower low, lower high. Lower low, lower high. Like lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Right? You kind of almost, but it's still like a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. You can see there's just the trend. Then there's a lower high from here. That's a lower high. That's a perfect place to short because you have a high, right? So you can do trend analysis and just use tweezer tops and bottoms to get into trades. You don't even need any other indicator. It's crazy. And it'll work in an amazing way. Then you have slanted head and shoulders here. You see it? Shoulder, head, right shoulder, breaks to the downside. It's all there. It's all there. And to me, this kind of has head and shoulder vibes. It's almost like shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, And like, I think someone pointed out yesterday, we kind of has diamond vibes, but from the bottom into the, you know what I mean? And like, that's a diamond. That diamond should break to the downside because it came in from the bottom. It's crazy, right? It's like, I've never really seen a bottom diamond into the, usually it's a reverse signal. So yeah, I mean, I'm leaning bearish for Bitcoin today. I'm not ready to pull the trigger on the short just yet, though. My mind tells me to be easy. Even I'm like, but what if they're big moves? So here's the deal. Let me talk about my mind. So I'm a trader. My brain yearns to make money. It says, let's make money. Let's make money, right? Let's make money. And it's like, okay, let's make money. Let's make money. So it yearns to make money. Okay. You know what I mean? And it's always like, okay, get into a trade. But we have to calm that feeling and only get into trades, me personally, when the environment gives us the highest probability of a win. Check, right? We want this to be like a 70, 80% that we've back tested over time. We want to have a really strong vibe when we get into a trade. So is today my favorite day to trade in the year? No, it's one of the worst days to trade, the day before Thanksgiving. Almost every time it's been a choppy time where you're not sure what's going to happen to price because that's what happens. There's low volume. They can't really, the book is going to be, and it could go down either way, up or down, crazily too, which is, So the crazy thing is you want to trade because there could be a fast move either way. But it's also chop and it's tough to trade. So you can get pulled in. This is when a lot of people kind of get caught up in chop and they let themselves lose money. They go in and out, in and out. I know because I've seen it. I've done it. So in my mind, it's I either trade a bigger time frame and leave it alone, or I just have to walk away until I see something that makes more sense. Now, to be honest, the short looks very nice with a high, you're shorting a higher, you're putting my stop on the other side of the higher low, the higher high, backwards. And then you have, you can almost feel like a descending triangle here. And we know what happens to those puppies. And it has this like head and shoulder vibe. I've even seen that like M pattern try to break down, and you keep getting rejected by the 200. And it almost feels like liquidity is getting bigger down here than up there. Like it seems like it's getting juicier here. Look at that, 86,000 looks like is getting fat now. You see that? That's the closest right now is a move down to 86K. So good thing I went short this morning. Nice job. So yeah, and then the stochastics, even though they're curving, they could roll over, right? Look at the 15-minute. And you had this kind of inverted head and shoulder. Look at the chop on that. I mean, look at that. That's insanity, right? You don't want to trade that. You want to trade it like a flag and a pattern. Like this is a nice trade here. Makes a flag, it breaks out the flag. You get the measured move, you know, boom. But not that you don't want to, that's just absolute chop. So tough. It could go either way. I could see it go either way. You know, sometimes your bias takes you, you know, sometimes someone's more bullish bias. They're just going to long. Like me, I still have a long open. I don't think it's even, you know, let's take a look at it here. So I'm like, what was I doing? Yo, so I longed this here. You know, this kind of bounce off the, looked like we were going to bounce off the 200 a while back. Oh, wow. And I thought I got taken out, but I didn't. You see, it got very close. Like they double bottomed it pretty close to the stop. And so like I'm still in this trade. I'm down 39 bucks. I think I was up at one point this morning, even like 100 bucks or something. So, and it's a small trade. I'm not risking tons. I want to see if we can get to 89.4. So, and I've just been in it already, so why not just keep it open? I think that's kind of the, you know, the basis behind it at this point. But again, it's like whatever's, right? But no reason to be extra risky for no reason. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just kind of sitting. I'd like a beautiful move to the upside. If we get above that 1 hour 200, man, woof. Let's take a look at the 30-minute. The 30-minute, you could say, is above the 200 moving average. And we could say, okay, stay above it, and we get the pump. So we could use the 30-minute as like the secret time frame right now. And just if you stay above the 30-minute 200, yes, like there's a chance we get a move. So to me, it's, you know, it's one of those days. Like some days you'll come on this channel and we'll nail it. We'll say it's going down or it's going up, right? Other days you're going to come to the channel. We're going to say, hey, it could go either way. Here's the probabilities, but this is what I'm doing. You do what makes you happy, and, you know, we see what happens. And it's kind of fun, right? We can kind of look at our trades together and see, hey, what did you do? What did I do? Hey. And you can kind of make your own probabilities over coming to the channel. And that's another fun added idea, right? Shout out to all the new people here on the channel. Thank you for jumping on in. If you're looking for a home, looking for a trading group, looking for a place to learn, jump on into our trading group. If you hit the link below all of my videos, okay? Hit the link below the videos. I really appreciate that. It'll take you to an awesome form. Fill out the form. It'll give you access, 24-hour access to my Black Friday sale. Jump on in today. It'll blow your mind, all right? Fill out this form. Get that double discount, baby, on top of the discount, all right? It's a discount on top of the discount, which makes it a double discount. So here, can we get this move to the upside? And inside of that Discord, why would you join? It's awesome. I'm posting video, you know, my updates every morning, every night. Last night, even at 1:15, I'm posting an update into Bitcoin in case you know you can't sleep, or in case you wake up in a different part of the world, you're not sure what's happening. It's there for you. It's a video update. I'm talking you through what I see happening for BTC based on probabilities, and just kind of going over the key levels that we need to pay attention to. What to do if something happens one way, what to do if something happens the other way, and kind of having a plan for both positions and knowing how to tackle the market, right? These will help you on a daily basis. And then as you learn with me every single day doing these will kind of mold you so you can see kind of what I have to do to be successful, like what it takes. You know, we got into Tesla, a Tesla call, continuing to rip, 409 to 422. Beautiful move to the upside there for Tesla, 62% on BTCC. And then on top of that, I also have an entire learning area, right? Content directory. And this is a place where you can watch all these different videos about how to long and short BTC, Bitcoin dominance, support or resistance, right? 21 crossing the 200 SMA, like why it's significant, head and shoulders pattern, right? A deep dive on process and mindset and the making of a trade, measured moves, the death cross, understanding gap trading, right? What's going on with the VRVP here? Cup and handles, ascending triangles, wedges and triangle patterns, how price action moves and trend analysis. Like, this will blow your mind. And this is all there for you. And again, less than $2, like about a little over $2 a day if you jump on in. So, hey, just gotta, that's the beauty of that Discord. It'll blow your mind. And then if you want to, for free, you can just join the server and just see all the people here that have less testimonials. It's amazing. And just read what people are saying and read what's happened to them in their life. And like, they write from the heart. There's so much coming in here. If I sat here and read them all, it would be amazing. I just joined less than 2 weeks ago. It's been the best decision. I haven't had gains yet, but I've been learning a lot and watching the learning videos. See, he's not even talking. Some people just, it's all about money. No. But really appreciating what she's learning. See? My whole, made a whole house on Friday using your strategies on Groypert. Take a look for me. I think it might be time to get back in. Does it look ready? Threw $100 on the stream. Like, I just joined the last day of July and already made my 99 back plus a lot. The group is great. It's just crazy, man. This is just what people say. It's awesome. I sit here, come read them every once in a while. It blows my mind how many testimonials we have that just, and it's endless. You could sit here. I think you could read these for, I don't know how many days straight. There's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. So again, I'm blessed to have the community I do. I love everyone in it because everyone helps everyone else helps everyone else, right? And we all help each other learn. And when everyone's learning, educated, we don't get liquidated. People actually have proper risk management, and they enjoy trading when they actually have a system and a plan. When trading is just liquidation after liquidation, it gets tiring, and it's not fun, and it becomes a chore, and it almost just becomes a place where people are just tossing money into a hole, and like, that's not fun. That's not a skill. That's not something that feels good, and that drains you. It doesn't help you, and so you have to get an education. You gotta discipline yourself. And you have to even learn a skill set of how to trade the market. Like, there's days that the market is slow. Like, someone might trade today and be like, why am I losing so much today? It's like, well, you're trading the day before Thanksgiving. Then they'll see the huge pump and be like, I missed the pump, and blame themselves. It's like, yeah, but that pump was superficial. It was on a low volume day. Like, it's okay to miss pumps on days that are ridiculous. Like, it's okay to miss a Jerome Powell volatility day. Come back the next day and actually trade real price action. You know what I mean? Everyone feels like they missed out when they see insane price action, but insane price action isn't always what you should have been a part of in the first place. Volatility could have chewed most people up, right? You want to be part of your plan. You want to have a system and a goal and something that you're going after every day, and you want to tackle that. You don't want to let the market predict your behavior. You want to have your own behavior patterns that the market can fall into. You want to say, hey, I want the trades to do this and this. If they do this, I would want to trade that. If they don't, I don't want to trade that. Like for me, I want to go hard when the 1 hour breaks the 200 moving average and the 21 comes in touch and we have a nice pattern. I'd love to go hard there. If we don't get that, then I can't go. I'm just not going to go hard. So now I have a disciplined manner. So I know when to go hard based off what? Based off the charts. So when the charts do what I am already kind of projected them to do, I can make the trade like a bot. My emotions aren't telling me to get into a trade. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm not getting into a trade because of what my emotions are telling me. I'm getting into a trade based off what the charts are telling me. And see, once you get into that motion, it happens over and over and over and over again. So look, honestly, I could see them pump this thing up fast. I could see them dump this thing up fast. You got to assume we're going to dump because the trend has been down. So the probability is a rollover. Right? And that's the last thing we got to say. So that would be the possible short down to 78K. Stop loss somewhere above 89,179. Man, it's funny. Do I make it's like I've never done that. It's like to go back and forth on there or to have a long and a short open at the same time, right? Possible right shoulder here. And even if it goes up, I just see chop. Look, we go to the top of the range at 88. We go to the bottom of the range at 86. And like you can see, we're kind of just stuck in this muckiness. Let's just keep going up and down. I'll just keep selling the top, buying the bottom. Yeah, so I think the smart thing to do is just to kind of let this thing play out. Bookmap is suggesting we go lower based off the red down there. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Metho360. You're amazing. That's Cepheus Blue. Yeah, Cepheus. Cepheus Blue. I'll look at that later. Fear and Greed Index at 15. Man, wow, it's funny. Oh, wait, no, hold on. It says now 20? Now, Extreme Fear. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yesterday. So it goes from 20 back to 15. That's an interesting concept, huh? It's pretty weird. But there's a lot of fear. And, it's starting to, Bitcoin doesn't look amazing. So people are, getting mentally broken down. So they believe the sentiment is going further to the downside here. Someone says, I think 3K on Bitcoin will be the low. CME must 3K. Wow. 20K will be the low. Wow. Exactly. AI XBT, 1 hour, 200 MA rejection. What a miss. Yeah. Anyone out there who has tried many discords, Lifer is different about education and success. Not just copying. Sam gives you his knowledge and guidance, but you have to do your part by studying. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you, Happy. Yeah, WLFI. Sam just got the Black Friday discount. Thank you. May you please look at a link. Yeah. $20K is the low. Oof. Q4, 110, somebody says. We're going to pump. Wow. 87,150 for the bounce here. And again, I always look at that 1 minute time frame. When you get back above that 200 moving average, just sparks can fly here. We're back above it again. And that's usually when you see some type of action, almost every time actually. And you can see it right now even. We're getting that action to the upside. Booming, booming, booming to about 87,304. Right? That's just a beautiful move. I like what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Smash the like button, everybody. I just want to be a bull with my bull friends. Send a super chat for TA on your coin. Yeah. 87,150. 150K December. You guys are... These markets manipulated. Well, let's put a poll. I got to do the poll again because you people, all right. Are you bullish or bearish? So some people think it's the beginning of a bear market. I think the smart thing to do is think we're in a bear market, and to believe what the charts are telling us. Are you bullish or bearish for Bitcoin? Bullish. Bearish. Maybe I should put bearish first next time, right? Are you bullish or bearish for Bitcoin? And there's a poll there. You can click on that and interact with it. Let us know what you feel or think or what the charts convey to you. So look, Bitcoin pumping up, but as we pump up, more red starts in at 86.50. Usually that's kind of they're bringing things up to bring things down. It's the fake pump to induce people to long, to create more shorts so they can dump the price. A fake move to the upside here for Bitcoin, right? My long up 5%, just How about that Tesla call? As it looks pretty good, 419 for Tesla. Nice little move back to the upside, and I can see this is a shoulder head. This is going to take time. And it's going to come all the way back down. It's probably going to go up to 470, back down. It's going to make this long, elongated move. But then I believe it starts to break out somewhere by January, February. Some big news from Tesla comes out. Show me the charts. I'll show you the news. They buy more of their own stock or something. And this thing just starts to moon. And it goes to 839. Somewhere by May of 2026. That's the Tesla call. Bitcoin with a little pump, but I wouldn't be too, More red came in as we pumped. That usually tells me to be very careful. Like it was only 86, now it's 86.5. So it's late longs that throw in a liquidation and stop losses there right as Bitcoin starts to move. So emotional trades get put in there. All right. BTCC is the oldest exchange that I use from 2015. And, never been hacked, never had an issue. Awesome. Good liquidity. You could trade anything there. Tesla, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and Bitcoin, multiple coins. Mainly a crypto exchange, but has access to other, other tickers. So it's awesome. Yeah. NASDAQ, everyone. Yeah. Yes. Bullish until the minty candle. Bullish 54%. So look, Bitcoin's looking to if Bitcoin pops that 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, these shorts will get fried. We will pump pretty fast up to 91.6. And it might be a Thanksgiving, and I'll win my long, which is weird, right? But hey, we'll see what happens. Exactly. So let's take a look at the total market cap and all of cryptocurrency. So this is Monad. So Monad looks like it could bounce here too. And, I'm not telling you I'm a huge fan. I'm just giving you the TA here. I don't own it. It doesn't matter to me. But if it gets a bounce and it consolidates, it could continue this move up to about 0.59. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about, right, is the Bitcoin dominance level. Bitcoin dominance is right there, and it's going to kind of tell us what could slide through the cracks here. So if it starts to weaken, we're also going to look at Sol BTC. All right, so look, this is what we've been talking about. We've been talking about the idea that it either bounces here or it makes this right shoulder. It continues. It has been slipping down. And this is kind of what you want to see. Bitcoin dominance slowly sliding away here. Again, it does also slide away when we have Tether dominance ripping. So we're going to look at Tether dominance. But you can see so far, at least, we are starting to get that move for Bitcoin dominance, at least back to this neckline. I can even bring this up. It looks like somewhere here. Right there, the level will be about 57.78. And once it starts to break that, we could start to see a move further down into the 56% area, right? Let's take a look at Tether dominance. If Tether dominance is also pumping hard, that's not a great sign. And you can see, wow, Tether dominance pushes up. We want to see it make a right shoulder, not a bull flag here to the 21. See what I'm saying? So here we are. The more likelihood is it's making a bull flag. You see this? It's not going to be it for all coins. It basically tells you the market's going to bleed. So I think it's better off to be on the defense right now. Everyone who thinks, oh, I caught the bottom and I'm going to win. The market tells you what's happening by trend. And I keep saying this, right? The trend is your friend. The trend is to the downside. Like this is an uptrend. You now have to go lower than this low here at 5.12%. You actually have to go lower. You have to break below here, 6.14. As long as that stays above, this is going to continue to 7.3. You can even see the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder there on a bigger scale. It says a bigger scale goes to 8.4. So it's almost like the world is tethering up here, and Tether is telling you to tether on up. So when I look at these two things, it's like, wow, it's anti-Bitcoin pump. Now we're up 13%. Bitcoin finally, like it always does, getting above that 200, getting a pump above the 200 moving average. Don't ask me why. I don't really understand why, and I don't have to. I just know that it does this. I know that when we cross the moving average, okay, so we get above this 200 moving average, right? And it gets this move. Boom. And now what I do is if I miss this, I used to trace this now. I'd get in right now, and then I'd get stopped out. Did it all the time. I did all the wrong things so I could do the right things now. So now what I do is if I really want to get into a trade, say I'm hungry and I was like, I got to get, it's like I got that. Okay. I understand that we did a nice move. Look at that move. And that's how this works. The 200 moving average is a catalyst for price action. You either bounce off of it, and look, they call me Sammy Cup and Handy for a reason. It's always there. There's the cup. There's the handle. And there's your cup and handle with the absolute skyrocket. So with the cup and handle and the 200 moving average, bang. And you can see, man, let the short squeeze begin here. 87,450 for BTC. I wouldn't get too excited by any move, though. Like, it's not like a regular Wednesday. It's not. It just isn't. Let's take a look at Forex Factory and show you what's coming our way, too, as well. So we have unemployment claims this morning. And honestly, we want to see those down. Why? Because if they're lower than they should be, actually, no, we want to see them up. It's interesting, right? We see them down. It's like, oh, we don't have to cut the rates. You kind of want to see them up, so they have to cut the rates. But it's still not the best, right? 216. Forecasted at 226. Previous was 220. So less people are claiming unemployment, right? That's a bullish sign? Or people just don't want to work at all. They don't even have to claim unemployment. They're getting money in other. I don't know. This could be funny, but so, but that's one idea. 87,500 for Bitcoin. Nice little pump back here for the longs. So like I was talking, I just want to kind of make this clear again. So instead of chasing, what I do now is I just kind of wait patiently for a flag with the 21. Remember, this is the 1 minute. This is the beginning of a real pump. If this actually really does pump, this is the 1 hour changing hands. This is a bigger move. And that means this is so small compared to the bigger move. This is maybe like 10% of the actual move. What people do is they see the move in the 1 minute. They get so excited like it's everything, and they chase it like it's the last move on earth. But it's the beginning of the bigger move on the 1 hour. You got to keep all these time frames kind of juggled in your mind at the same time. You'll get better at this over time. At the beginning, you won't be able to juggle these time frames. At the beginning, you'll be like, oh, I forgot about the 1 hour. I knew I should have checked, You'll be so in, oh, why was I so into the 15? I knew it. But as you get better and better, I'm able to juggle all, like I can be like monthly all the way to the 1 minute, and I can see the time frames in my mind. Now I look at them twice, 3 times a day. I do a top-down analysis twice a day, 14 times a week more. 2-3 streams and the updates. So actually on the weekend, it's crazy. I do a top-down analysis about 3 times on the weekend sometimes, So anyway, when your mind is always doing the same thing, you're going to train your brain to see things other people can't see. People just want a quick indicator. They want to buy something that tells them what to do. But wouldn't you want to become so amazing, like a cyborg, where no one can stop you? Or you can see the charts like nobody else? I want to turn you into a lifer, the crypto lifers. I won't be here forever. We all know that, right? And there's many people that are younger than me here on the channel, in their 20s, and they're going to become great people, young men and women watching the channel, and we hope to change your lives, right? Even in your 30s, people of my age, people older than me, but we hope to inspire you to change your life. That's the whole point of this channel. Because, making someone wealthy is awesome, but making someone wealthy who has actual discipline, honor, respect, and wants to change the world, that's an even wealthier goal, right? Because that's how you really make the world wealthy. Because that person will use their wealth, hopefully, for an even better solution for the community. Something to give back, something to change the world. Like if we all desire legacy over money, then God will make us multi-billionaires. So when we leave, we can leave so much for others, right? Look at the size of this pump for Bitcoin, 87.7, a massive move to the upside here. And I don't know what makes me stay long in this insanity. I'm the king of 32% over here. And that's almost like unsustainable rally there, right? I mean, that's crazy. I moved my stop below the 200 moving average there on the 1 minute time frame. But I can only tell you, opening a trade when we cross the 200 moving average on the 1 minute has made it just such a move. I tell people, if you're struggling at trading, if you're having problems, like today's one of the worst days to trade. There's low volume. It's all weird and wacky. And still, the system plays out almost beautifully. It played out twice. Open a trade here, get paid. Open a trade there, get paid. This yellow line is like thou shalt not cross. Do not touch my stop loss. It's amazing. Again, this could dump all the way right back down. I don't buy any of this stuff today. I don't want to get too excited. I don't want you to get excited over these moves. I want you to understand this is how it happens. I want you to watch price action, take it in. I want you to understand the SAM price system, the lifer way. I want you to become part of the charts. Don't fight them with your emotions. Become part of the charts. Flow like a surfer flowing on the waves. You're at the beach, baby. You can surf these waves. Look, the wave's about to come. The wave's about to crash. You put your surfboard right there. Right as the wave crashes, you enter the wave. And you let the wave push you. When you get away from the 21, the wave has crashed onto the beach. We need to wait for the next beautiful wave to come. That's going to come when the 21 comes to marry price yet again. 90% of the time, this marriage will happen, and that will be the next move. Sorry, I'm in like Miniville. Everyone's like, I'm staring at this on my phone, and I can't see anything, Sammy. Can you please give us the more? So anyway, that's kind of what's happening, though. And wow, what a move there for BTC. And again, it's all about these strategies that I teach: the cup and handle, the 21-day moving average, the 200 moving average. I go over this every day. I tell someone, if you're struggling, please open up a demo account, right? Which means you demo trade free money. It's not real money. It's a demo account. And just, wait for price action to cross the 200 on like the 1 or the 5-minute time frame. I said, and do that 100 times. See if you can win 50 to 60 of those trades. If you do, and you use proper risk management, like you know that by mathematical standards, I don't see how someone can't win. Again, it doesn't mean everyone's going to win. You never know. This is something that I figured out over time. Now, I use it on different time frames, and I perfected it by adding, where am I taking the trade? When am I taking the trade? Like, is it London? Is it Asia? Is it New York? Like, what session am I trading? Why? Well, I want the most volume to propel the move, so that's why. And then why? What gives the best probability? So, like, once I've identified, it's interesting. You make kind of like a pie chart in your mind, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. And look, here we are now. We got it. This is it. Like, this is such a big deal. We've got to get above the 200 moving average. This is it. Like, this is enough with this game. We got to see a huge move here up to about 91K. It's got to happen sooner than later. Like, you got to see it. And look, it's saying no. It's saying, look, big red down at 86.2. They're starting to say no. They want to, this is a fake pump to drag us down to 86K is what the bookmap is saying. I'm not saying that's guaranteed, but that's what bookmap is saying. Saying this is a perfect time to enter the short as it pumps into the 200 yet again. I will say touching the 200 is always the best place to get into a trade. When you're coming down to it, it's the best place to long. When you're coming into it, it's the best place to short because the odds are just, I love it. You can find that out for yourself, but I've done the math. Oh yeah, so I wanted to kind of give you an idea. I was talking about a pie chart or even just, I make lists. So once I've identified a model, so years go by and I eventually identify a model. It takes years. So 5-6 years in, after learning TA, after getting your butt kicked, after doing all this, even 10 years, I'm in like for, 20 years since I started buying stuff, but like, 22 to 42. But so years go by, you understand the lingo, you've gotten your butt kicked, you've done all the stupid emotional things, you put yourself into a line, you say, I can't do these things anymore, I always have to use a stop. You understand what you got to do. Come on, Bitcoin, get above this 200 moving average. This would change the game right now. Come on, baby. Come on, you got to get above this yellow line. There's always going to be a battle here. This is it. It's crazy how this yellow line is like, it's like if you didn't know about this yellow line, you'd be like, why is Bitcoin? You just think it was supported resistance the whole time. Look at it. It's been the 200 the whole time. You can see it. Wow. So the rejection. Anyway, so you once you understand that, then you eventually get a model. So now you have a model. You've back tested it. You know it works. It's awesome. That's great. But basically the battle is not over now. So now you use the model and you try it out. Right? And then you're going to find out there's some days the model is, not that great. Like it doesn't do that well. Some days it does amazing. Some days it does okay. Some days it gets you through. Some days it does amazing again. And you keep trading it over a few years. And eventually you're going to learn, why did the model play out better on some days than others? And then you're going to perfect when to trade the model, not just the model. So first it's learning TA, then it's finding the model, then it's when to trade the model. See, now I've perfected when to trade the model, right? The when to trade the model has now become, because, and now you have an edge. And now you're like, oh, the model works better on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. As after Thursday at 2 p.m. into Friday and in the weekends, the model doesn't work too well. I have less, it's not as good. So then you start being, okay, check. These days it works. These days it doesn't work. Oh, these are the better days. Oh, so now I understand how to trade the markets. I understand high probability moves that happen. And now I know when to trade high probability moves on top of that. I'm now getting higher probabilities. Now I'm going to add Bookmap and some other indicators that have been giving me some insight. And I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, when I see red and this comes in and that comes in, oh, now I have a strategy based on my own little stuff. On my indicators that I've put together in my mind. No one can tell me when to get into a trade or out of a trade or what to do, right? It's a built system that took years and years of compounded data. It's not something that happens overnight. And everyone wants this overnight, but it doesn't happen like that. And see, what I will teach you is I will turn your mind. And again, if you use an indicator, fine. You may still have some good success. I'm not saying, my whole point is you'll never learn what trading can do to your mind, right? If we always just rely on AI, then we'll never learn. Like if you played a chess game with AI your whole life and you waited for AI to tell you what move to make, you would never have the experience of like making the connections in your brain during the game of chess. Like you would miss out on the whole point of chess. AI is going to create a bunch of people that are basically missing out on life. They're going to think they're gaining. AI is to make tasks better here and there. It's to enhance. Like you're a video editor, you can find ways it's going to put the footage together better, quicker for you. It might even put the storyline together quicker than you, and then you can, but it doesn't mean you don't have to go in there and adjust it, add your own voice, add your own touch. You know what I mean? If AI did everything, it's not, AI wasn't there. AI didn't remember the exact moment you actually tasted that thing and said that, it can do as best it can, but it's not a human, it's not you. Right? So people are going to rely too much on AI. AI is just an enhancement. Just like having a tool, like a drill. Like the drill doesn't make you an amazing artist. It just makes it so you can put things together better and quicker. Like if, it doesn't make you a better tool, man. You still have to understand and conceptualize. So here we are battling the 200 moving average. It's just like this is what it is. Above the 200 again, but just kind of, look, a bit of a double bottom. Wow. And that inverted head and shoulder on the 15-minute did play out there as sloppy as it was. The 30-minute stayed above the 200 moving average. But it's about this 1 hour just not being able to get back above that 200. And then when I saw more liquidity build up below us, like this line come in as we went up, it usually tells me that's a fake pump. We have more red closer down here than above. Usually we're going to go to that red area. Let me jump on into the chat, see how everybody's doing on this beautiful day. Okay. You could tell, exactly. What if AI figures out a way to override the just a thought? Yeah. Watching for the Philippines. I love you. Yes, 200 on the 30 has been holding us all day. I got in a small short. Interesting. 431 votes. 53% are bullish. 47% are bearish. It's just like yesterday, kind of a battle back and forth here. And let's take a look at that live chat. I don't know why it always does that top chat. Doing amazing over here. God bless you, man. Super chats, Dash, Tau, and WFLI. Let's take a look at Dash, Tau, and WLFI. Dash, baby, Dash on MEXC. Wow, so we were looking for Dash to possibly bounce. It came to the lows. Let's see here. Nothing, right? And again, I wasn't like, just looking at it, speculating on Dash. Back to the 3-day, 21-day moving average. Back to being oversold. That's what you want to see when you get bearish div on the 3-day and people get overexcited. You have to zoom out, watch the 3-day do its thing. The daily do its thing. Privacy coins had that, initial surge. Wouldn't be surprised if they get back on the horse here, though. Previous resistance becomes support. It's at that 786 fib there from this impulse to there all the way. I'm weary of altcoins right now. So even if the TA looked amazing, I'd probably just wait it out. But, you know, if Bitcoin can hold some key levels at bounce, then that, you know, and even not, maybe there's a chance privacy coins, but you're speculating on so many things that privacy coins will, you know, decouple from Bitcoin, that Bitcoin might even just go sideways, right? One thing I do like is the 8 hours above the 200 moving average. You know, for me, maybe, you know, I could go in there with a swing trade stop below that and see if it could continue up, but it looks like it would take a long time. If it does break out, the measured move does say 154 for Dash. And again, it is buying discount. It's not chasing premium prices here. But, you know, you're below the 1 hour 200 moving average, the 4 hour too as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if you just roll over and end up lower down here too. So, like, this could just make a shoulder, head, shoulder, roll over. See that? If Bitcoin rolls over, I think everything rolls over hard. So, Link has an ETF coming up December, so I see that pumping. Sol is also a great alt to be invested. I do like Solana. It could possibly somewhat decouple at one point. Let's take a look at Sol BTC and just see how Sol's doing against Bitcoin. So Sol Bitcoin, you can see, is in this funky little triangle. Little big triangle, right? Oversold in that 3-day, pushing to the upside, attempting to put in that, you know, a slightly higher low. Not amazing. If Bitcoin can hold on, it could get tight and then eventually break out against BTC. But it could even come in double bottom. You see, everything's kind of in that, like, what could happen. I don't see strong moves for everything. Look. Exactly. Also, Sam, so good news that Bitcoin Texas becomes the first state to buy some Bitcoin. That's amazing. Yeah. Master, best deal out there, 56 billion in holdings and only 36 billion market cap. You get a big discount on Bitcoin buying Master for the now until folks catch on. You know, I looked at Master MSTR personally, and it definitely looked interesting to me. I look for discounts near the 618 and the 786. Again, it could be making a bear flag and continue lower, but that would take it to $35, right? There's resistance here. It's back to that previous resistance. And like you could be making a giant inverted head and shoulder here and just taking a long time. The only thing is, like, that doesn't start pumping till August. Like, you basically drag out all of 2026. 2026 turns out to be like a long drag out vacation year. And then you don't pump again till, like, they basically remake this year's October through December that never happened, 2026. And then, you know, I guess you would have to have a crash like 2027 of, you know. But see, like, everyone's saying, oh, we're crashing, it's over. But, like, you don't want stocks that are in a bubble, right? Everyone's like, oh, it's in a bubble, they won't buy it. But then when things are crashing, they think it's the worst. So what is it? Like, do you buy things that are crashing, or do you buy things that are in a bubble? It's just funny to me, right? So anyway, Master looks interesting to me. I'm not acquiring Master. I buy BTC. In my humble opinion, I'm just like, I go to the source. But hey, if that's, to me, that's a discount because it's still, I'm not chasing overbought. The 21 was way away from the 200 moving average. They definitely came together. So what I look for happens. Tesla holding itself there at 38%, and that's a long-term trade there on Tesla that I'm looking at. Bitcoin, again, just struggling with the 200 moving average. Struggling. And yeah, I would just watch that 5 minute and see if it can stay above the 200. 1 minute is in the bull flag there. That would be so cool if it breaks out of that. That'd have a huge look. Whenever that line is that, that's one thing I've noticed about any chart. I've made a measured move sometimes as this, and they have these very long, like that's a manipulation. When you have multiple green candles, just right? It's like, it looks like Hikanashi, but it's not. That's usually weird, right? Whenever like spot candles, regular candles to me, regular just, when they have Hikanashi looks to me, it's always weird. I'm like, how is that possible? How is just all green, all red one way, Might just head it right back down. You never know there. See how that's curving too? Moving averages will tell you so much. And to me, it really doesn't matter. Nothing matters except for the 1 hour, getting back above the 200 moving average. It's just so important. It's everything right now. You can see how the 1 minute could fly. This is so cool how you can zoom in and watch price action. It's like a microscope. And to me, this is kind of the lore behind trading. Like, this is what I love about trading, is being able to zoom in, be able to see all this, being able to kind of find all this stuff out. Bitcoin dominance looking ready to go and give the alts a chance to do some random bumper-ronies. Yeah, Telcoin has such a weird-looking chart, but looks like a move is heating up. So Luna, somebody says. This I'm just telling you, there's like someone's put a hex over us here on this 200 moving average. We got, come on. We need some like, ooh, like someone needs to sprinkle some fairy dust over there and get this thing moving. There's suspense, right? It's like a low volume day, but you can feel the charts could creep on you at any moment. Look at the size of that 1 hour candle. It's one of the bigger 1 hour candles since this move here. You see? It's a big boy. I mean, that's a big move. You could say Bitcoin just pumped pretty hard. It's funny, you don't even notice this stuff. Let's go 1 minute. Let's show us what life is all about. I'm telling you right now, whenever I've seen a crazy move like this, usually we replicate that move. Like, because one day I was doing measured moves, and I saw this really long measured move, and I was like, oh, Bitcoin's not going to, and I was looking at a coin, and I was like, oh, that coin's not going to make that. And it hits it every time. Like 90% of the time, I'm like, it hits these crazy places. Once we get above 88K, some liquidations will really occur on the short side. Because people are thinking, oh, no, 88K, you know, they got their stops up at 88.3, 88.4, 88.5. You go to 88.8 again, it's on, right? That's 88.5, 888. Funny. 888, 888, 88588. Or 88, 8888, 88 cents. And there's that resistance again, which is the 1 hour. So we know if this 1 minute pops right now, it's the 1 hour breaking above the 200 moving average. We know that, right? So it's like we're so honed in together right now watching this. This is amazing. I agree. 90K psychological would be huge. Yeah. Sam, do you ever use the Ikamuchu Cloud Indicator? Yeah, I used it for years on and off. I just, you know what I mean? It could just, people forget about it. It doesn't always work. It's cool though. It's very similar to using the 21 and the 200 in a way. I've noticed when they get tight, it's tight. When they get wide, it gets wide. Yeah. Very similar to the Gaussian channel in some ways too. Very similar to using the Bollinger Bands, if you can believe it. If you've used all three of those, they have many similarities. It's very interesting. Let's take a look at Tau, TAO. Probably the strongest coin in the game because it's like the biggest, most held AI coin that actually has like real potential that people believe in. Seems like some bigger institutions and people bought on into it, so it didn't get like sold off. You know, you can tell like why did it hold so well? Because whoever bought the bulk of it holds it long term. You know, and so you can kind of get a wink there. But see, as it gets tight, look, even that tells me like March, April of 2026, the rally ends somewhere in December. You see this? So it's going to be a long 2026. It's for these altcoins. Even if they get on a massive run and things go our way, even if everything goes our way, which I've never seen happen, but if things go perfectly, absolutely bananally, just like everything goes exactly as planned, and we take the bars pattern here, and price action moves like, look at that. It's still, and that was like the fastest we ever saw this stuff. Remember when this was $8, and next thing you know, it was $700? I mean, it was crazy. Bitcoin, baby, finally getting the pump. Let's go. Let's go. 1 minute, breaking out the flag to the upside. This is what we need. 1 hour, getting above the 200 moving average. I'm here. My name is Pat Summerall. I'm here with John Madden. We're going over the Bitcoin price for you. Every single day. Come on, baby. Show us a move. Show us a move above the 200. Now 33% on the trade. The king at 33% over here. And look, I mean, this is the signal that I teach too. It's when we're above the 200, touching the 21 in a flag. That's why, like I was saying, we don't chase. We wait for the next price action. We just wait, and I just wait for the signal over and over again. It helps me because if I say I miss this, I switch to the 5 minute, and I wait for the 20, the 200. Now the 21 is going to get too far away from the 21 here. It's going to have to come back. Eventually, it's going to have to come back. And I just sit and wait for that moment, and then I make the trade again. Like, you miss out on a few pumps here and there, but it's very rare. Like, even this, it's sad to say, but look, there's bearish div now. You see, that swings down on the RSI, but it swings up in price action. And then that could be the beginning of a head and shoulder pattern. I could be bullish and bearish in the same instance. Like, I could carry both instances. Oh, look at that sweet mother of pearl. Woo! Let's go, baby. Nice pump there for Bitcoin. Makes it more, On a day like today, it's like, I'd take that gain, you know. Exactly. Bitcoin ripping from the 7 to the 21. Whoop. Touchdown. Raiders. You're funny. Market gonna go up now, guys. I sold. Congrats. You're funny. That's why I just put smaller amounts and let the market come to me. And I found, like, when you look back at the end of the week, P&L's up. Somehow there's you know what I mean? When I'm throwing Hail Marys every 5 seconds and I'm saying I got this, I know better. I don't need a stop loss. I know how this market works. My system's perfect. It's never going to fail me. You never know what's going to happen. Trading like that means you're humble. See, a stop loss says it basically says you're humble. A stop loss says, hey, I don't know what's going to happen, but if it doesn't go my way, I got to have some, it's like an airbag. A stop loss is very similar to having an airbag in a car. Like, I don't want to use it. I hope I don't have to use it, but it's there in case it does. If something doesn't go the way I plan, I'd like to have a fail-safe so I don't lose it all, right? I might just hit my head here and there. I might just, but I won't go through the windshield. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even want to talk like that because it's like, but my whole point is, being humble has always worked out for me instead of being pompous and thinking it's all gravy every time, right? So we should be humble in most of our approaches. So a stop loss says, hey, I may be wrong here. Not using a stop loss is how most people lose lots of money, man. It's just been, no one talks about it because everyone wants to show their big wins and talk about how they didn't, and they think it's funny I didn't use a stop. It's a joke. It's like a running joke. Oh, no stop, what's stop loss, right? And again, it's okay when it's not you. But when you look at your life and actually look at the reality, it's not funny, right? No. So I know me, whenever I didn't use a stop loss, those were my biggest losses. Because I got into a trade, it ended up getting against me. I got too close to my liquidation level. I couldn't handle it. $2,000 turned to $3,000. Next thing you know, I'm like, man, I got to cut this trade off. And almost, I'd say not every time, but about 60% of the time when I cut it off, it's like almost the exact bottom. I don't know why. So whenever I don't use a stop loss, there's a lot of emotional pain. There's the pain of not listening to myself, which hurts. There's the pain of feeling like a complete fool, which also hurts. There's the pain of knowing better because you knew better, but you did it anyway, which hurts even worse. Like, there's a bunch of pain there. And you got to get through all that. And then you look at it and you're like, and then there's the pain of seeing your P&L drift away that was so clean and nice. And you knew you had it in you to do well, but you didn't. You failed. I know that pain all too well. I don't like that pain, man. So every time I'm thinking about doing something stupid or going all in or saying I got this because we're above this level, there's got to be a contingency plan for me personally. Every time I've used a stop somehow, some way, like it ends up working out even better. I get on the right side of the trades. I take profits at the right time, and then I have the capital to get into the trade at the right moment. You can see World Liberty Finance in a nice uptrend here. It does have resistance, but I'd watch it right now and just put it in an alert system. Very aggressive entry now. Could be the aggressive entry, high risk, high reward. It could be the best price to ever get in. For me, I'm done doing that. I'm into just the best place to make a trade. And the best place to make a trade for me would be if it got in here. All right. I got red suits. Don't worry. I got red suits. Yeah, we got the red suits, bro. Yeah. The tough part with stop losses is that market makers hurt the stop losses as well. They could see them, right? That's what people say. And in my humble opinion, but if you put it in the right place and you're not with the herd, then no. Right? No. For instance, like the stop loss, you could say the stop loss is on the 1 minute here. Right when this got above, you put a stop loss here, they could see that, right? Why didn't they hit it? Right when this candle closed above the 200 moving average, why didn't they hit the stop loss? Same ideas here, you know what I mean? So, no. Like, and if you're in my trading group and you see, you'll be like, wow, no. And this is the mystery that people see. They want you to think this because that makes you lose more money. What you just said is a great myth for the market maker. Yes, believe that, they say. Because the more you believe that, you see what's going on? The more you won't use a stop. And the more you won't use a stop, the more of your money they can take. Because you're going to become a degen. And it's going to become, not a game of probability anymore, but a game of emotions. They want to get you emotional so you start making bad decisions. That's the key to this game. Once you're emotional, you will make bad decisions. You are a human being. Someone says Chainlink is flying. I mean, it looks okay. I like the 1 hour right now. It's in a bit of a flag there to get on top of it before it happens there. That actually might make a pretty big move. I own a boatload of Chainlink, so I'd like to see it actually get some love for once and hold some key levels. Hey, I like Chainlink. I'd put an alert there. And, it has a pretty big market cap. It tends to hold its own. I believe a stop below 1254 would be pretty nice. I like that. Chainlink looks interesting to me. I like that, bro. Thank you. Of all the coins out there, Chainlink looks very interesting. And I guess ETF's coming, right? There was something else here. There's a super chat we got to look at. I know. WLFI. We looked at that. Tau. Okay, we did it all. Right, we did it all. I believe so. Let's take a look at the super chats. Thank you so much for people that threw down. I appreciate it. We got Jamal Antonio. Good morning, my brother. Can't wait to be locked in for the year tomorrow. Can we take a look at Dash? Wow, you're quitting the job for 1 year? That's what it sounds like. WFLI. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, Kurt. God bless you, Kurt. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And we did look at Monad. Thank you. And thank you so much for having your father-in-law jump on in. That's amazing. So Bitcoin, again, not able to get above the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. Like, it's just a no-no right now. And you can see how this is just, it's how it is. Could be the perfect short entry, really, where things just start to collapse. Could also be, in a second, the massive short squeeze. They got us in a bit of a bind here. So you pick a side and you sit. If we lose that 200, I could switch short. Almost just feel like taking $87 and then I could take the long when we get above the 1 hour. You know what I mean? It's like, well, let's see. Now the 21. See how we got away? So you pump from the 200. This is a perfect example of my system. You get away from the 21. Now what you have to do is you have to stay above the 200 and you have to make some type of flag and catch the 21. If you just dump right back down, then it's over. But if you can make a flag here, then and this is how I figured this out. Again, it's not 100%, but the odds are really good that you're going to see what's happening and figure it out. And so small time frames blend into big ones blend into small ones. If you like what you're seeing here, jump into my Discord where I teach this every single day. All right? There's a link below my videos, okay, that you can come on in and hit this link right there. And that's going to bring you to this form. And there you can fill out the form, and it's going to give you 24-hour access that starts tonight. All right? Basically, right when we turn to Thursday on Eastern Standard Time, 12:01 Thursday morning, you have access to my early bird special. All right? The community. This is for you guys. This is for the loyal lifers. Then the real sale begins on Friday. But you have an early access that also gives you an added discount on top of the already amazing discount. So for a little over $2 a day, man, jump on in to get the most affordable premium Discord in the game that comes with the trading course inside, right, that you have access to whenever you want. No, like, limited time, just at your leisure, while you're also learning, while you're also finding ways, and you're around a lot of people that can help you. So stay blessed, man. Thank you, dear Lord, for all the loyal people in my life. May they stay blessed and get rewarded. For the unloyal people in my life, may they learn the lessons, whether it have to be, value, however valuable it is, or how they have to learn them. May they learn them, man. And yeah, I'm only here to help others. I can't use my mind for anything else. But it is sad when I think of that. But hey, what are you going to do? We move on. I can spend more time dreaming of my mom and saying thank you, dear Lord, for all the amazing memories I have with my mother. My mom died about 2 years ago, 11/23. They went into a 5-day coma. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and she passed on Monday. Anyway, I'm cool. I'm all right. But it's just a sad time. I'd love to, this is when my mom made stuffing. I always had Thanksgiving with my mom. And tomorrow will be Thanksgiving, but it's okay. I'm fine. Don't stress. Blessings on blessings. Look at the liquidity they're starting to build below us. It's getting thicker and thicker and bigger and bigger. It's almost like the more they pump, the more they want to dump. You see what I mean? And look, this is starting to make a head and shoulder pattern, not a flag. Important. If the 5-minute loses the 200 fast, then this is a fake rally. If the 500 stays above the 200, pulls the 21, then we could sustain a continuation move. The small time frames lend you to the big time frames. It's amazing what they do. Shout out to all the beautiful people here. Let's jump back into the poll and see what the poll said. I can't wait to jump on in there and see what happened. How many people are bullish or bears? Wow, 56%, 669 votes, 44. So it's basically pretty much a dead heat, but a little more people are bullish than bearish. To me, it's whatever the 5-minute tells me will happen is what will happen. If 5-minute makes a flag, we pump. 5-minute dumps back to the 200. It's like the 1 hour getting rejected by the 200. Can you believe that rejection too? Look at that. And we knew exactly what levels to watch. We knew exactly what could happen there. So now if the 5-minute can't break through to the other side, so here's the battle for the day. And then more liquidity got built telling us this, man, I got to tell you, man, the probability is short, everyone. I just want to let you know. My system is saying shorting is more likely than anything else. Not saying it's guaranteed, but that's what the system is saying. Right? I want to look at XRP, BTC. I just want to look at XRP versus Bitcoin. Oh, you can see it's in a nice little flag on the 1 hour time frame. A little overbought though, like getting a little, extended, but that's interesting, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? We get a little altcoin surge here on Thanksgiving, a little XRP love. ETFs, right? Yeah, there's some support and resistance, like bounce. So you're on the support zone. 4 hours getting oversold, coming to the 21.2s. I like the look of that. I can see XRP pump about 8% against BTC. Look at that. So that's interesting. Then you look at Sol BTC. I think we looked at that yesterday. You just want to kind of start. If you look at like 5 of the top bigger coins against Bitcoin, you can kind of get a sense. And look, that's attempting to bounce a little bit. Not amazing, though. Looks like it could roll over with Bitcoin in the long run. SWE BTC, which I haven't looked at in a long time. Nope, doesn't look, that's like, Never really did good. Like, it was doing great, and then it's been in a downtrend. It is at the lowest point, though. You could see it could get a bounce. Possible shoulder, head, right shoulder. Bitcoin 87,650, just struggling. And I'll be honest, the more it does that, the more likely it's going to go down into this 80. I see a short possibly down to 85K now. QT ending on December 1st. The money printer is about to turn on. Another thing, too, is we look at this CME gap. I mean, the CME gap, the CME watch tool. And that was at 80 point something percent. Now it's at 82.9. It continues to slightly climb. Every time that climbs up, Bitcoin can get a little bit of a pump. Every time this slips, it's like, it's funny. This is like a inversely correlated pump. Bitcoin pumps, right? Dumps, Bitcoin. It's so crazy. But now it's like they're going to cut the rate on December 10th, in my humble opinion. Have I been wrong? I don't think I've ever been wrong, right? Oh, actually, no, there might have been a surprise cut, double cut. They didn't do that. But I mean, that was a hunch, all right? But still, they were going to cut the rate. Some people said no cut at all. I thought that was ridiculous. So I believe they will cut the rates. I believe there's a 95% chance they cut that rate. All right. Fear and greed back to 15, giving us higher prices for Bitcoin, lower fear, which kind of creates discounts, right? Here's the bot. The bot has bought. It still has 2 safety orders in case this gets worse. And the bot is looking, man, all it needs is this boom. Honestly, the measured move is this whole length here. That gets you somewhere back to 96, 95. It gets you can see the measured moves up into this area. I can see the liquidity lines. I can see the gap. It's funny. You can see it all without even seeing it now once you've been doing it for so long. So yeah, you watch your 5 minute. Why? Because if the 5 minute stays above the 21 and makes a flag, we can get out of this. If the 5 minute flips back, then the 1 minute's falling over. Exactly. I'm here for XRP. I'm an app architect for financial services, and while I do not have access, I know my company is working with crypto. I can see the APIs, but cannot access them. It's cool, man. I like to hear that. It's good to know. That's good to know. So here we go, baby. And if you want to trade where we trade, we have access to those exact places. Here in the pinned comment, jump on in today. All right. It's all right there, like that Tesla trade on BTCC. We got Mexi and Weeks as well. So yeah, I'm watching the 5 minute, and this is the education you need because the moving averages, they're just so special and beautiful. And once you get in tune with them, you'll be so in tune with the market. No one will be able to jar you or move you around with your emotions. Like you'll be able to see what you're supposed to see. You'll be able to see probabilities. And I'm really amazed at the retention here of the crypto lifers. Like these are one of the hardest weeks of people who just don't pay attention to the market. And we have such beautiful retention today. Shout out to the algorithm. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the opportunity to be here. Always blessed. Thank you so much for everyone that makes this happen. Appreciate it all. All the opportunities that the internet provides. It's such a blessing. We are in such a day and age where people can change their lives overnight through the internet. Come on now. And people complain. Shout out to the 100,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the milestone we hit earlier this fall. It was an unbelievable milestone to come home to after the beautiful summer. I just want to say thank you again to everybody. I'm very grateful to many more, to the $250,000 subscribers and more, right? Wow. Presented to Crypto Lifer for passing 100,000 subscribers. And it comes off the top. You can feel it. So cool, man. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. I thought about that plaque for a long, long time. And was like, man, only saw people better than me get that. I don't get that. I don't deserve, it's like we work so hard for things. We become the person that we desire to become over time. Success isn't something that you achieve. It's what you become. It's interesting, right? It's what you know. Success is something you attract by becoming the person you desire to be. That's how, you attract success. It's I can't explain it. It's like a frequency that happens in real time. It's not something that is everyone, when you see a successful person before, when I was struggling most of my life and I saw someone who looked like, I could just tell, it looked like they were just doing it. Had a company, was online, and I was like, man, what is that person doing? What separates them? And you thought it was like it was something they possessed at the moment, but it's really just like it's a recreating yourself all the time. It's like always being in a state of repositioning. See, the average person wants to be in comfort and stay in comfort, but an entrepreneur has to constantly move. For instance, you go to work, let's just say you're the cashier at a store. Things change, right? But for the most part, the job will have like a variance between what can change. Like one day you might have to help someone do this, but for the most part, you're at the cashier, you're putting things through, you're helping the customer, you're making sure if someone isn't tagged right, you're asking to see what the price is, right? You're rechecking price, stuff like that. And but if you're like someone who owns a store, you're looking at all the inventory that came in, how much is sold, you're looking at all the productivity between all the different employees, and every single day you have to be like, oh, well, we didn't sell as much of this, we should buy more of that. And every day you have to kind of like be different. Like, you know what I mean? There's some businesses that run pretty nice, but at the end of the day, no matter what your business is, if you're not innovating it, if you're not always working on it, if you're not always kind of, doing the best you can to collect data and move, like you're going to be stuck. And once you get stuck, like you're going backwards. So you got to become progressive. So to have your own business, to be your own man, to be your own trader, you want to trade professionally for a living, like you got to be moving all the time. Like you got to be reaching. You can't be in a state of comfort. You know, no business owner is in a state of comfort. They're always in a state of discomfort, but on purpose, because comfortability is not where you gain the most advantage. When you're in a state of comfort, you don't gain an advantage. You actually get too comfortable, and that's when you actually lose an advantage. You don't want to get comfortable in life. I used to keep myself so comfortable all the time, surrounded by all the things I needed and wanted and desired. I need a break. I need a moment. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Making sure everything was so comfortable for me. A little too comfortable, right? And then what happened? I ended up on a night shift working for someone else. You see what I'm saying? Not living my dreams, not with anything that inspired me. I wasn't building a company with someone. I wasn't like traveling the world with my buddy or someone that I appreciated. It was just like, you know. And so it just, it's but you go after your dreams, right? You see something that you have to work every day for. So Jim Rohn, he taught me, he's like, oh, you came home from work. Like, and then I eventually, after working the night shift from 8 to 3 in the morning, I eventually got into a 10 to 6 job. And yeah, I'd get home by 6:37. I'd be pretty tired. And I'd want to just flip on the Netflix. And even if sometimes you go to dinner with your wife or your kid, you get home by 8:39, sometimes you eat at home. Most of the times we eat at home. But the whole point is, before you know it, it's 9 o'clock. And you got to be in bed by like 12 because I got to be up by 8. Right, I got to get to work, leave my house by 9:15. I want an hour in the morning to do my exercise and get myself together, eat right. Or, I fasted usually till 1 p.m. I've done that for like 12, 15 years. But the point is, yeah, I worked out on an empty stomach since I was 31 or something. I'm 42 now. I work out on an empty stomach every morning. My first meal is 3 eggs, usually boiled, with a small piece of toast, maybe some avocado, sometimes some steak from the night before. And, just the same regimen over and over again. Some fresh squeezed OJ, and that's it. That's me, baby. Wow, I like this. You see this bullish engulfing candle. Come on, 1 hour. Get above the 200 moving average. It's peaking. It's peaking, baby, but it's done this before. Right there, got above, right there. Just come on. There's room in the stochastics, which tell me there's room to go. The small time frames are going to tell us this 5-minute channel. And now look, this trade's up. Isn't that funny how much you can fight? And again, you know how many people can't make $100 today? Or they'll round trip $100? Like, I'm proud of any single gain I get. I don't hide anything. I love it. People will laugh at me. I'm in $100 million short. To me, it's just about winning more than I had before. And constantly adding to my wins, and I don't have to be a big shot I don't have to compare myself to anyone else, and you don't either. Chainlink looks interesting. If Bitcoin can get this bounce, man, things can change. It's a pretty interesting show, Funny, Caspa was trending last night on Twitter, right? And look at Caspa; it looks like it's about to explode on the 1 hour time frame. It's almost like proof of work is getting some. Look at this. Look at Caspa. And I love seeing that. I'm a long-term holder of Caspa, so I like to see this bounce for Caspa. That's a beautiful move. We'll take it. And I got a live trade open here on Weeks, as you can see, and a live trade open here on BTCC. I also love trading MEXC, lowest fees in the game, but these exchanges are great. I love them. I know the people, and I meet them around the world. It's great. Have good relationships, and oh man, look at this thing. It looks like we could get a bigger move here. The flag might end up being somewhere up in here. Don't worry, the flag will happen. The 21 will come to price. Problem is when it starts to pump, people get the green candle gets people too emotional and they chase. You gotta just be, what I've learned is the moving averages taught me patience. Once I learned patience, I've learned entries. The best entries take the best patience. Remember that. Repeat that. Best entries take the best patience. Either you knew when to get in when we crossed the 1 minute, which was like precise, and you made it through this wacky head and shoulder pattern that, anything else to me is a little bit of a chase. Let's see if this 1 hour can stay above the 200 moving average. So important here. This is really what it's all about. It's about the 5 minute right now and the 1 hour. Those are going to be your keys to success today. And in the more we pump, the more I keep seeing this liquidity here. It doesn't bode well, man. We got to get back above 87 and really hold 87,000. Head on up to 93K and really
really get this move. But look how much deeper the red is now at 86. I could see us just reverse in 2 seconds and dump in our face, dude. It doesn't look amazing. So the TA has to defy Bookmap right now. Bookmap isn't in our favor. The TA looks better than the Bookmap on the smaller time frame. Bigger time frame also suggests we're in trouble if we can't get back above that 1 hour, 200 moving average. So I gave you everything I could today. If you like more, you want more, join the trading group. You have basically one night to do so to get the best and the most affordable price in the game. Fill out this form. You go to the form by going to my live stream and clicking this link right here. Black Friday early bird sale. It's only for the loyal lifers. Jump on in because the real sale starts on Friday, and it will be a little more. It won't be as affordable as it is tonight. So tonight, hit this right now and fill out the form. You can do that right now. You don't have to wait. And then what you're going to get is you're going to get an email tonight with a QR code that's going to give you access. You might even get it now, but it's going to give you access to put in that code tonight, right when it turns Thursday. And you'll have 24 hours to use that code. After 24 hours, that code will stop. A lot of people think about doing it. They want to do it, and they do forget. So don't forget. Be on top of yourself. Write yourself a note. Put yourself a sticky. Get it done. You won't regret it. You can spend your money on a bunch of things. You know, go out with your friends with beers. You can do all sorts of stuff. I'm telling you right now, investing in yourself. I joined a trading group. It changed my life forever. I'm here now today online teaching and loving what I do and traveling the world. So, hey, I'm not going to say what happened to me is going to happen to everybody else. I put in a lot of effort, but what I am telling you is it started my journey. And so the only way I know how to help you is how I help myself. And that's how I started a trading group. And I believe I got one that's going to really change your life. So, hey, you do whatever makes you happy. I'm here regardless. And hey, if you don't join, I'm here for free every single day too. All right, for the skeptical people that want to continue to learn. And I'll find a way to get you in there. Basically, we'll find, I want to teach you so much information that your education spills out that you actually, you find a way to hit it. So, everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you guys in the group. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. I can't wait to see what happens in this 2026. We're already getting ready. We're preparing. And by hope, may God please continue to bless the channel. Maybe get all the way to the end here as we bookmap the entire year of 2025, right? We started January 1st. We have not missed one day of this stream. I don't know how it happened. We flew to Dubai. I had stopovers in Qatar airport. They had the best internet in the world. They had this section where I could live stream. No one bothered me. We hit live streams on the plane. We had Starlink right when we needed it at the perfect time. Like everything worked out. Like I put my faith in God. I had no idea where I was going to be exactly and how it was all going to work out. Like, you never know. It could be plane delays. We had, I had flights of 15 hours, then an 8-hour move from Doha to Singapore. I was 12 hours difference and then time difference. You know what I mean? 8 a.m. was 8 p.m. And, we came home. Remember making like over 20 racks in Singapore? Unbelievable. One of our best weeks of trading. It's just been an amazing experience. Dubai, we hit for gains in Dubai. Then we went to Lisbon, right? We also went to Bitcoin Las Vegas. Like, this is insane. It's been unbelievable. Also, I also had to go to Massachusetts like 2 or 3 times in the months of that. I've been in a plane for over 98 hours this year in total, which is nothing to some people, but for me, that's the most I've ever been in a plane, over 2 working weeks inside of a plane. I just want to say thank you to everybody that made this year unbelievable. Let's cap it off with an amazing Cyber Monday Black Friday sale. Let's bring as many people on as we can to change their lives, and let's keep pushing. And no matter what, let's continue to teach for free every single day on this channel because that's what I love to do. That's what my passion is. Thank you to everybody that made it happen, man. And I love this. I love what I do. Let's continue to do this. I fell in love with the teaching. Everything else is second. It all follows that connection that I've made to each and every one of you and that you've made with me. I really appreciate it. God bless you all. Thank you so much for letting me live out my passions and my dreams. God bless my mother and my father looking down on me as the anniversary of my mom's passing. May she stay blessed. She's a beautiful angel. God bless you, Mom. Let me show you a picture of my mom. She's so special and beautiful. She's so special and beautiful. And she was just such a gem. And look at my mom, man. She was gorgeous. Here's here at the Grand Canyon. Probably like 75 or something like that. Unbelievable, man. I love you, Mom. And here she pushing my little sister. She made it into the paper. She was so beautiful. They put her in the paper at the local field. Irene, 1981. Wow, man. I wasn't even born yet, man. God bless you all. You know, cherish your loved ones. You know, call them and tell you love them, and push every single day to be your best person, and live, you know, believe that everyone is a blessing made by God, and that they all deserve respect and love. Even if they don't give you respect and love, you never lower your frequency. You don't live in hate. You don't live in regret. You don't live in pain. You keep pushing every single day, and you make something of yourself. I love you, and I know you can. Everyone, I'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you for everything. Stay awesome. Stay blessed. Stay connected.